The call with Gord Miller and Ray Ferraro of the gold medal game of the 2020 World Junior Hockey Championship just seconds away.
The 2020 IIHF World Junior Hockey Championship is brought to you by Esso. The Esso brand has fueled Canada's love of hockey for over 80 years. By Nike, official gear of Canada's national hockey teams. By TELUS, amazing service. It sets us apart on Canada's largest and fastest network. And by Tim Hortons, the official coffee of Team Canada.
Welcome to Ostrava, the Czech Republic, a city hosting the World Junior Championship for the second time. Canada won gold here in 1994 in the old round-robin format. Now a gold medal game between Canada and Russia. The 9th time they've faced each other in the gold medal game. They've split the previous 8 meetings. The referees are Lasse Heikkinen and Christian Wickman, both from Finland. The linesman from Slovakia and from Sweden. Starting in goal for Russia, 19-year-old Amir Miftahov, who shut Canada out on 28 shots in the round-robin, came on in relief for the Russians in their semifinal win against Sweden. And for Canada, it is Joel Hofer, who has been lights out for the Canadians, leads the tournament with a .946 save percentage. Canada's allowed just 4 goals against in its last 4 games. Valeri Bragin is in his 9th time as the head coach of the Russian national junior team. 1 gold in 2011, 4 silver, and 2 bronze medals. And for Canada, it is Dale Hunter. 20 years in London with the Knights. Also coached the Washington Capitals for 1 year. He's a 2-time Memorial Cup champion. Canada and Russia for the gold medal at the 2020 World Junior Hockey Championship. And here we go. Denisenko faces off, and the puck won back to the Russian zone. Galenyuk plays it across for Alexander Romanov, the top defenseman in last year's tournament. Denisenko plays that in the corner. He got belted down by Dmitry Voronkov. Puck loose and fed across by Voronkov. Canada, by the way, is the home team in this game, wearing its black uniform. Aiden Dudas across the line. He got squeezed off the puck. Galenyuk goes back, shoves down Dudas. Here's Romanov with it. The Russians struck with 3 goals in the first 13 minutes of the round-robin meeting.
Discipline will be a key early. You can only imagine how excited these kids are, pumped with adrenaline in the start of this gold medal game.
Evan Ball in the Ottawa 67s, ahead for Liam Foudy. Fires it in. Foudy pitches one of Canada's top 3 players in the tournament by the management staff. Centering pass for Foudy, backhand shot on the goalpost. Rebound to Nolan Foote. That's tapped wide by Foudy. What a chance there for Foudy. Now knocked down at center ice by Bowen Byron, who missed the semifinal game with a stomach bug. Canada actually segregating players at the hotel, moving them to different floors and different rooms to try to contain the illness.
I got to tell you, I'm shocked that Barrett Haight has taken a shift here.
Now walking in a quick chance. Hofer turns that away as Alexandrov came in.
Good for him. This looked so bad yesterday, and here he is in the game. We'll see what he's got.
Ivan Morozov feeds that back at the point for Daniel Missul. Missul in, shoots. That was blocked by Byram. Owen Byram, the Vancouver Giants, ahead for Dylan Cozens. He battles for it. Puck squirted free in front, knocked down by Bernard Docker. Byram, lead pass to Cozens, into Lafreniere and Haight. Drop pass by Cozens is picked up, and picked up by Pavel Dorofeyev. Fed across now. Zhuravlov, who saved the goal of that semifinal win over Sweden. Plays it back around. Picked up by Haight. Shovels it ahead to Lafreniere. Alexei Lafreniere in, shoots, and a pad save made by Miftahov. Russians have pulled goaltenders in 3 games in the tournament so far. And did it the last time they met in the gold medal game against Canada in 2015. 2.5 minutes in, Bragin switched netminder. Akil Thomas tied up behind the goal. Back for Dawson Mercer. Now Jared McIsaac, one of 5 returnees for Canada, has to retreat. Mercer up ahead for Thomas. Kicked in by Raphael Lavoie. Lavoie in deep, trying to center it. Mercer throws it back in front. That's knocked away. Bernard Docker walks in. He hammered that high. What a pace here in the first period.
He's just watching this and thinking this is not even a little bit surprising how quickly these 2 teams, these 2 rivals, have come out and started to play.
Jamie Drysdale, lead pass for Lavoie. His long shot blocked away by Miftahov. Loose to tie Delandria. Delandria throws that back in the corner. Romanov, the Montreal Canadiens' second-round pick, is back to pick it up. He's being watched there by Dudas. Vasily Podkolzin. Lead pass to Voronkov. He got tangled up. Marchenko a long shot. That's blocked by Hofer, and he'll hang on.
Liam Foodie's got 3 goals in the tournament, and he's going to loft this backhander, kind of shovel it towards the net. Niftahoff doesn't see it. It goes all the way through the traffic, hits the post, and comes straight back out. The Canadian bench and Barrett Hayton think they're on the board, but it hits the post and bounces away.
Now the fake's off in the Canadian zone. Joe Veleno will take the draw against Alexander Havanov.
And I would suspect, even though Hayton's playing, he's not going to be much of a factor in the face-off circle. That puts a heavier load on Joe Veleno, who has taken draws at a high rate and been successful in this tournament.
He was terrific in the third period of Canada's opening game win against the United States, with 12 and 5 on draws in that game, and led Canada in ice time in the hockey game. Now Ty Smith picks it up, the reigning CHL defenseman of the year. Up for Nolan Foote, the scoring star for the Kelowna Rockets. Now the forecheck is Veleno, and Zamula backboard for the Russians. Petikostick, Grigori Denisenko, who led the tournament scoring a year ago. Trying to find Havanov. He was spun around. Ty Smith goes in. He had Havanov collide. Puck loose along the boards. Played back by Denisenko. And a penalty coming to Canada. Havanov was spilled. And the Russians will get the game's first power play 4 minutes and 5 seconds in. And Jared McIsaac will go off.
This Russian power play started out just terribly, but they've got 7 power play goals in the last 3 games. Special teams likely have a factor, of course, in a 1-game final. McIsaac is trying to box out Havanov. His stick gets tied up in his feet, and just when his stick is there, the goaltender Hofer gives him a shove as well. So Canada's penalty killers will get to work here early.
Russia started the tournament 0 for 15 on the power play. They're 7 for 17 since. Romanov fires. That was blocked. Dorofeyev tries to knock it down, and it's played out by Delandria. Dorofeyev was taken off the Russian top power play unit early in the tournament when the Russians were struggling. Back on it now.
This has become their second unit. It started as the number 1 unit, but with Denisenko's group just on the ice, they've gone back to Morozov and Marchenko and Podkolzin up front.
Bouncing puck behind the goal, picked up by Byram. Byram slaps at it. The puck loose along the sideboards. Morozov plays that back at the point for Zamula. Podkolzin plays that back door. A hard shot taken by Marchenko. That's knocked away by Hofer. Marchenko back to Zamula. Long wrist shot. Hofer makes the stop through the screen of Podkolzin.
Joel Hofer has taken over the Canadian goal, a .945 save percentage coming into today. Go back a few weeks. It's amazing how long this tournament and pre-tournament and camp is, but how quickly things change. The Canadian staff was talking about as they went to training camp, it's a goal dogfight. Nobody is there's no clear order. Anybody's got a chance to be the starter. It started with Nico Dawes. Joel Hofer came in relief and then has taken over the net. He has been simple and sensational in goal for Canada.
Aiden Dudas fires that down to the Russian zone. A minute to go in the Russian power play. Niftahoff plays it across for Denisenko. Grigori Denisenko. First round pick of the Florida Panthers in 2018. Drops it off for Havanov. Now Voronkov brings it around. Alexandrov drops it back. And a race for it. That's blocked down by Zamula. Plays it across to Denisenko, being watched there by Dudas. Denisenko feeds that down to Alexandrov. Alexandrov back to Havanov. He holds and feeds that back. Zamula across to Havanov. Has a lane, waits. Being watched there by Ball, feeds it down. Voronkov, a centering pass. Across the come, Denisenko powdered down wide. Havanov knocks it down. 20 seconds to go on the Russian power play. Havanov loose behind the Canadian goal. Feeds that back to Denisenko. Denisenko back to Havanov. That pass disrupted by Dudas. The puck leaves the zone.
Great play by Dudas to be aware that where the pass option was to get a stick into the lane, and Canada does a terrific job killing off the first Russian power play.
One shot for the Russians on that man advantage. A drop pass, misfired. And they look for Havanov, picked up now by Cozens. And Dylan Cozens, who can fly, brings it out. Away comes Cozens. Gains center ice and across the line. He shoots. Viptahov makes the save. Cozens back on it. Pokes it back in front. That's knocked down by Mizyul. Tipped in now by Ratishev. Nikita Ratishev. Tied up there by Byram. Picked up by Jacob Bernard Docker. Out to center ice to Hayton. Up he goes for Lafreniere. Drops it back to Hayton. Hayton taps it back down to Lafreniere. The puck at his skates. He wheels it back for Ty Smith. Smith down to Lafreniere. A shot that deflects wide on the other side. McIsaac played it back. That's picked off. And picked in by Polyenkov. He turns it over. Lafreniere to McIsaac. In shoots. That's partly blocked by Polyenkov. At the line is Ty Smith to Lafreniere. Lafreniere plays it down. McIsaac a centering pass. Missed Hayton. And now Ty Smith pokes it ahead. Good pressure by Canada here. Finally moved out by Maxim Sorkin. Rink wide pass to Hayton. Drops it out to McIsaac. His shot kicked up by Viptahov. But Cozens up ahead to Voronkov. Dmitry Voronkov working on McIsaac. Pulls it away to the front of it. Sends it back in front. That goes for everyone and back out to center ice. 7.5 gone here in a scoreless first period.
Everybody takes a break here as the puck goes down and teams get the change. But man, this has been fast. There is a real heaviness to this pace of the game.
Cozens, poke check by Kevin Ball. And the play is offside at the Canadian line. It's the gold medal game of the 2020 World Junior Hockey Championship.
19-year-old Barrett Hayton has had an outstanding tournament for Canada. Here was the injury yesterday, driven into the boards by Lassie Thompson. In warm-up, he kind of lofted the puck around. That was the hardest shot that he's taken. Now, it's really difficult to play when you're being protective of a body part. The upper body, the left shoulder of Hayton is the issue, and you saw him wander into the corner, not finish a check that he likely would. He talked before the tournament about calling the other returnees about leadership, how they would help lead this team. Gord, he's doing what he can here as the captain of the team to try and give them some minutes in the middle of the ice. It's clear he's nowhere near 100%.
Igor Zamula plays for the Calgary, hitting in the Western League, sends that ahead. Back goes Kalen Addison to pick it up. Brings that around. Nolan Foote up ahead for Joe Veleno, working out with Footy. He was poke checked by Morozov. Zamula back across to Chiravlov. And the Russians settle things down. The shots are even at 4. Morozov, long lead pass. Nolan Foote got a stick on that. Shot down, and Hofer takes that back for Kevin Ball of the Ottawa 67s. Addison, long lead pass for Liam Footy. Footy drops it off to Veleno. And Joel Veleno chips that down to the corner. Havanov back to pick it up. Brings that around. Held by Bernard Docker. Plays it back in. Footy trying to dig that. Creates back at center ice. And Byram knocks it down for Canada for Bernard Docker. Jacob Bernard Docker. Lead pass for Delandria. That was knocked away. And moved ahead by Romanov. His long shot gloved by Hofer. And he'll hang on to that as Byram gets tangled up behind the goal. And there is Valery Bragin, the head coach of the Russian national junior team for the 6th straight World Junior. Inconceivable that Russia has one gold medal in the last 16 years in this tournament.
Well, their leader is Alexander Romanov, who's had another outstanding tournament, the Montreal Canadiens second rounder. And I'm with you, Gord. When I look through the past winners and medal winners of this tournament, it seems unbelievable some of these streaks that are rolling around, including the Russians, not having more gold medals recently.
This is the 25th World Junior with a playoff format. As the puck is won back to Mizyul. Long shot, bounces down in front, knocked down by Cozens. The Russians are playing their 13th gold medal game. They're 4-8 in the previous 12. Poked ahead by Jamie Drysdale, the first 17-year-old to play for Canada at the World Juniors since Aaron Ekblad in 2014. Ty Smith picks it up. Smith banks it off the sideboards, back down to the Russian zone. This will be icing against Canada.
The 2020 IIHF World Junior Hockey Championship is brought to you by the Chevrolet Good Deeds Cup. Kiwis, submit your good deed for the chance to win $100,000 for charity.
Back here on Ostrava, the final day of the 2020 World Junior Hockey Championship, a terrific host city. The rink's been packed here night after night. Tremendous atmosphere. Helped by the fact that there's some 3,000 Canadians here. Ty Smith swings back for it. Smith pokes at it, knocked down by Podkolzin. Smith another whack at it, plays to the center to Hayton. In comes Barrett Hayton with Lafreniere. The drop for Lafreniere. Moves in, and Zamula poke check that away. Lafreniere down to Hayton. Hayton pivots back. And again, Hayton on it. Knocked away from him. At the line, held by Bernard Docker. In deep for Lafreniere. He holds the puck as Canada changes. Foot comes on. Picked up by Pilyenkov. For Podkolzin to Voronkov. He flipped that rink wide. And the return pass in escapes. He's bumped off the puck there by Foot. And the play was called offside at the Canadian line. You're watching the gold medal game from the 2020 World Junior Hockey Championship in Ostrava. Tangerine Raptors basketball continues Tuesday when the Raptors take on Portland. Tip off at 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on TSN. Shots are 5-4 in favor of Russia. A scoreless opening period.
The best chance was Liam Foodie's floating backhander that hit the goalpost just a couple of minutes in.
Alexandrov squeezed there by Byram. Now Veleno reaching for it. Back at the point, Galena can't hold it. Foodie almost off to the races there. And Veleno back to pick it up. Joe Veleno playing this year with Grand Rapids at the American League. The first round pick of the Detroit Red Wings. Winds his way in. Foodie shoots. Gloved by Miftahov, and a penalty coming to Russia.
This is a slashing penalty on Joe Veleno as he's carrying the puck through the middle of the ice.
And so Nikita Alexandrov will go off, and Canada gets its first power play of the game. 9:17 left in the period.
He reaches out with the stick and slashes the left hand of Veleno, and Canada's power play, which has been unbelievable in the tournament, 12 for 27, will get their first opportunity. Canada has killed off Russia's power play, the one that they've had.
Veleno, Cozens, Lafreniere up front, Hayton on the back end along with Kalen Addison.
Remember when Barrett Hayton has his 4 power play goals? He can really shoot it off the top of that circle. We'll see if that's an option here.
Lafreniere winds that down to Cozens. Dylan Cozens plays that back to Addison. Addison to Lafreniere. Walks it and shoots. Miftahov fights that off. Misule around the boards and back down the ice. Russians allowed 6 goals on 29 opposition power plays. They got lit up a bit by Sweden in their overtime win in the semifinals. Addison drops it back to Hayton. He swings it back to Addison. 8:45 to go in the period. Away comes Hayton through the middle of the ice. That's knocked away from Veleno. And Cozens has it back. Dylan Cozens. In across the line is Hayton. Barrett Hayton works in. It rolls off his stick. And now Podkolzin has it back for the Russian. Plays it through the middle of the ice to Voronkov. Dmitry Voronkov working in. Voronkov shoots. He goes wide with that. And now Hayton waiting for it. Pivots back along the board. And Addison swings back to pick it up. A minute to go in the Canadian power play. Addison up to Veleno. Joe Veleno swings that down for Cozens. Now Hayton goes after it. Hayton knocked down, plays it back for Lafreniere. In for Hayton. Barrett Hayton walks in, shoots. That was blocked. Bounces back at the point for Byram.
That takes a bite out of Romanov. He's still on the limp a little bit.
Byram crisscrossing with Lafreniere. In comes Alexei Lafreniere. Post up. The Russian stick knocked away, and a penalty coming to Canada. The stick knocked out of the hands of Maxim Sorkin. And Joe Veleno's going to go off with 27 seconds to go in the Canadian power play.
Veleno's trying to open up a passing lane by getting Sorkin's stick out of the way. Take a look at 17, and no, you just can't do that. Interference is the call. He's trying to lift his stick so there's a pass lane for Lafreniere. Canada gets burned on it, and we'll have 4-on-4 for just under 30 seconds. Romanov blocked the Hayton wrist shot. Struggling a little bit on the Russian bench. Man, is he a key for this Russian team.
So McMichael to take the face off against Morozov, and Connor McMichael wins that draw. Ty Smith plays around for Bernard Docker. 4-on-4 for 20 more seconds. Smith back to pick it up. Bernard Docker swings that across to Foudy. Liam Foudy. Bottle up there by Morozov. Winds his way through center ice. In comes Foudy with a great move. Foudy works back in. Tries to wrap it around. Now the goaltender Niftahov has lost his stick. Zhuravlov gives it back to him. Now the Russians on the power play. Backhand shot by McMichael and a save made by Niftahov. Russia on its second power play now. 0 for 1 in their first with one shot. Morozov drops it back for Denisenko. 7 to go in the opening period. Zamula drops that back for Denisenko. Grigori Denisenko. Back across to Havanov. Voronkov to Havanov. Dropped off to Denisenko. Alexandrov back out there for the Russians. The cross ice pass broken up by Dudas, and he sends it down.
That's the second time today Dudas has been in the right place to deflect a pass away and clear it down the ice on the penalty kill.
Alexandrov takes a return pass from Havanov. Back at the point is Denisenko. Across to Zamula. Back for Denisenko. Has time. On shot. In a leg in front. Now reaching for it. Not knocking it out is Thomas. Havanov with it. Havanov drops it back. Denisenko a drive. That was blocked by Thomas. And Foudy plays it out. And now the play offside at the Canadian line with 20 seconds to go in the Russian power play.
A couple of real good blocks for Canada on the penalty kill. Aiden Dudas makes a couple of strong plays defensively as well. There's the first block that catches McIsaac, buckles him as it hits him in the knees, and there's Akil Thomas. What a block to come into the middle of the ice. Joe Veleno appreciates the effort as Thomas comes across to the middle, and he's a ways away. That takes some courage to get down there and block it that far away from the shooter. He blocks it and chips it out of the zone.
At this point in the round-robin game, it was 3-0 Russia. A very different situation with a very different-looking Canadian team tonight. Romanov for Podkolzin.
Man, that seems like forever ago.
Podkolzin fires that down. Picked up by Byram. Final seconds now on the power play. Dudas on it now. Lifts that to the line, but not up. Morozov kept it alive. Marchenko gets there first for the Russians. Squeezed off the puck by Bernard Docker. Podkolzin tries to knock it down. Veleno out of the box. Chips out across the blue line. No shots for Russia on that last power play. 5.5 to go here in the opening period. Romanov winds through center ice. He's taken down by Delandria. Hofer for Byram. Oh, Byram throws that back in the corner. And now Byram has to retreat. In runs Ilya Kruglov. Drops it down to Ratishev. Delandria trying to kick that free. Sorkin comes in. Now Sorkin works it loose. Tries to move it back in front. Knocked away by Smith. Kruglov back on it. And the bottle up here. Now a penalty coming to Ty Smith. It'll be a tripping call as Kruglov went flying. And the Russians are going back to the power play with 4:56 to go.
Russia will go back to the power play. Ty Smith with the penalty, but Kruglov takes a little bit of a flop here as he's going back behind the net. Canada's third time shorthanded in this first period. You can really take the wind out of somebody if you do a great job penalty killing early. This is another important time in the game here for Canada's penalty killers.
Isaac fired that down. Now Foudy bounces it down to the Russian zone. And Niftahov leaves it there for Dorofeyev. Drops it back to Podkolzin, the Vancouver first rounder. Podkolzin across the line. Poke check by McIsaac. And Dudas knocks it out. Dorofeyev slides it across to Podkolzin. Romanov across to Marchenko. Pass flipped ahead for Marchenko, but knocked down by Veleno and played back to center ice. We'll try on the other side. Dorofeyev works in. Being shadowed there by McIsaac. Dorofeyev sets it up. Drops that back at the point for Romanov. Romanov a long shot. Hoping to save. Rebound. Drops down, played to the corner by Byram. Dorofeyev in for Podkolzin. Podkolzin plays it back across to Marchenko. Down to Podkolzin. Podkolzin plays it back in front. Byram got in the way of that. No, pass back across. Hofer makes the stop on the deflection. Podkolzin with it. Feeds it back to Dorofeyev. Dorofeyev to Podkolzin that bounced off his stick. Podkolzin. Back for Dorofeyev. Romanov. Back down to Marchenko. Fans on that shot. Played around by Byram. And Dorofeyev knocks it down. Pavel Dorofeyev. Centering pass for Rozov, and it dribbles down to Hofer. He hangs on to that.
What a reactionary stop by Joel Hofer as a puck deflects off the left foot of Jared McIsaac. McIsaac's in front of the net. This is a cross-crease pass off the foot and tremendous reflexes and positioning by Joel Hofer. The St. Louis Blues' fourth-round draft choice in 2018 has been sensational in this tournament. There's a real calmness to the way he plays the position. He's had a fantastic year in Portland to the Western Hockey League. A .937 save percentage there, a .945 save percentage coming into this gold medal final today.
Hofer, a native of Winnipeg, was drafted by St. Louis in the fourth round in 2018. Traded from Swift Current to Portland last year. You mentioned his save percentage in the Western League, number 2 to Dustin Wolf, who came here for the United States in this tournament.
You go to a new city, you get a new billet. He's billeting with Ian Walsh, the NHL referee, and his family.
Long shot there from Zamula. That was blocked and sent back down the ice. 20 seconds to go in the Russian power play. Denisenko feeds out ahead for Ronkov. A long shot. That goes wide. Played back in by Havanov. Bernard Docker gets to it. Plays it along the boards. Cooney racing to it. Now in the corner, Voronkov. Final second of the power play. Voronkov. He got knocked down. Plays it down to Alexandrov. Havanov feeds that back. Zamula plays it across. Denisenko a drive. Another penalty coming to Canada here. Touched up by Dellandrea. And a slashing call will once again put Russia on the power play for the 4th time in the first period. And this time it'll be Kevin Ball who goes off.
I was looking at the shooter, didn't see this live. Ball's in front of the net. And there's the slash as he comes down over top of Voronkov.
Russia, 4 shots on 3 power plays. Veleno got dumped. Back at the point. Romanov a shot in the glove save by Hofer.
And if Canada can kill this off, you're going to be down under a minute in this period. You could pull the air out of Team Russia here if you've kicked them in the shins 4 times on the power play. Huge draws here for Veleno. The continued aggressiveness of Canada's penalty kill is a paramount at this time. They have given Russia almost no time to set and create a play. It's been really impressive so far.
Now Veleno trying to win that forward. Here's Romanov back with it. Alexander Romanov flies it across to Dorofeyev, walks in and fires. That deflected wide. Loose puck on the side to Drysdale, and Jamie Drysdale gets bumped there by Morozov. Into the corner for Podkolzin. Now Podkolzin drops it back to Romanov. Romanov to Dorofeyev. Back to Romanov. Feeds it across. Dorofeyev, a shot that was blocked by Drysdale. It took a fight out of Jamie Drysdale. He's slow to get to his feet. Dorofeyev drops that back to Romanov. His long wrist shot got through off the inboard, swept away by Hofer. Loose behind the goal to Podkolzin. Vasily Podkolzin to Dorofeyev.
Drysdale continues to limp around.
Now Romanov shoots, that deflects wide. Marchenko plays it down to Podkolzin, tied up by Drysdale. And the puck loose in the corner for Morozov. Minute to go in the Russian power play. Dorofeyev back for Romanov. Romanov feeds across. Marchenko. Cross ice pass. Dorofeyev tees it up and shoots. Hofer the save, and he pounces on the rebound. Dad Stephen, Mama Lane, and Sister Lila Hofer looking on as Joel Hofer, the 19-year-old from Winnipeg, puts on a show here in the first period.
These penalty killers have done an amazing job. We saw the shot block by Drysdale. He's being tended to at the Canadian bench, but when the puck gets to Hofer, everything is locked down. The players talked about his rebound control, how calming it is, and it continues to be.
Missile, a long shot, that deflected. Now picked up, and a jam play. Sorkin couldn't poke it home, and it's sent down the ice by Delandria. Daniel Zhiravlov, the Colorado 5th-round pick, slides it ahead to Missule. Missule fires it in. 25 seconds to go in the power play. Bernard Docker has time, and the play was offside. The face-off will go all the way back down the Russian zone, as they were warned to tag up and did not.
Valeri Bragin does some things that are tough to follow sometimes. He's got a power play on the ice. He's obviously not very happy with what the first couple of units have done. So his last power play is Kruglov, who doesn't have a goal in the tournament, Ratishev, who has one, and Sorkin has one in the tournament. Those guys are on the ice. Wouldn't expect that they're going to score very much, but clearly not happy with the way those first 3 power plays have gone. Now Canada 20 seconds from getting out of a 4th.
Zamula drops that back. Here's Denisenko, leaving it back for Havanov. Havanov works in. Couldn't get a shot away. Havanov drops that back. The pass misfires in the final minute now, the opening period. Kolyenkov back for it. 2 shots for Russia on that power play. They're 0 for 4 in the first period. Canada was shorthanded for 6 of the last 6 minutes and 53 seconds.
Now you got to get your big boys back in the game here. Lafreniere on the ice for the first time in forever to get him into the flow.
Foot couldn't sweep it out. Denisenko plays it across. Havanov can get a shot away. Now does it. Bounces back in front. Here's Sokolov with it. Back at the point he goes. Zamula. Zamula moves in. Shoots. That took the stick out of Foot's hands. Now poke ahead for Hayton. Away comes Barrett Hayton. Winds it across the line. Hayton took a whack on the hands there. Hayton centers it. Picked up by Lafreniere. Spins and shoots. It bounces down in front. Picked up by Smith. 10 seconds to go in the period. Ty Smith feeds it rink wide to Ball. Ball walks in. Kevin Ball, a backhand shot. Loose in front. They couldn't get the rebound. Ball back with it. Feeds across the Hayton. He shoots. That was blocked. And time expires here at the end of the first period. Hayton flipped Sokolov with a stick, attempting that shot. And there may be another penalty to Canada here at the end of the first period. The officials are conferring.
I think Hayton's stick ramps right up Sokolov's stick and hits the 6'3" Sokolov just under the chin.
So Canada survives 4 Russian power plays in the opening period. And there's the attempt by Hayton. And it's a 0-0 game through 20 minutes. You're watching the gold medal game from the 2020 World Junior Hockey Championship. Our first intermission is coming up. No scoring in the opening period of the gold medal game. Russia had 6 of its 10 shots on 4 power plays in that first period, but it's 0-0 after 1. Gord Miller back in with Ray Ferraro. Canada's penalty killers went into beast mode in that first period.
Unbelievable job of penalty killing by the guys that are out there when you're a man down. I thought they were so aggressive. They had really good positioning. Aiden Dudas had a fantastic first period. Blocked a couple of passes. Their block shots were terrific. Courageous to get into the shooting lanes, but it's the way they hunted the puck, took away the time and space. James just talked about the number of shots from the home plate area, the real dangerous shots. And Canada only gave up 4 of them in the period. That's a remarkable achievement given how long they played that period shorthanded. You got to play this one 5-on-5. You can't keep going back to the well.
And they'll start this second period 5-on-5. No penalty at the end of the period to Barrett Hayton. So when we go to period number 2 in the gold medal game, the 9th time Canada and Russia have faced each other for gold since the playoff format began 25 tournaments ago. They've split the previous 8 meetings. Canada won the most recent in 2015 in Toronto. That clearing attempt hit the referee, Lassie Heikkinen. They'll go the other way to Bowen Byram. Connor McMichael sends that rink wide for Aiden Dudas, and he drops it back for Bernard Docker. Byram, a lead pass for Delandry. The play was offside at the Russian line.
Delandry found a seam up the middle of the ice, and Byram had his head up and just missed him with a neutral zone clearing pass. Byram, who did not play yesterday, had an illness that has been running around this tournament. He just misses him, maybe a half a stride late.
Now Cozens will take the face-off out there with Hayton and Lafreniere. Cozens, the natural centerman, playing for Lethbridge in the Western League. That's his accustomed position. He wins the drawback. Picked up by Lafreniere, busting out with Hayton. Lafreniere puts it back across to Cozens with a shot. Smith fights it off, loose in front. Smith can't reach it. Ty Smith jumps up, the puck still loose, and a penalty coming to Russia for putting the hand over the puck. It was not in the crease, which would be a penalty shot. But Koyenkov's going to go off, and Canada goes to the power play.
Off the defensive zone face-off, Alexis Lafreniere is going to create this play. You always want, as a centerman, help from your wingers. This puck is tied, and Lafreniere co-drags it out of the mess, and he's got a 3-on-2. He's going to flip this across and then get back to the front of the net, and in the ensuing scramble, the Russians are trying to clear the puck, and it's Havanov who blocks the shot, and you'll see his left hand get on top of the puck. Oh, it's actually Pilyankov who's going to go with Canada's second power play. We'll get a chance in the first minute of the second period.
First was truncated by a Canadian penalty to Veleno. Here's Cozens. Back to Addison. Jalen Addison. Drops it back for Lafreniere. Addison. Feeds across to Hayton. Hayton. Back to Addison. Long wrist shot that was blocked in front by Ratisha. The puck still loose. Knocked down at the line by Addison. Keeps it alive for Lafreniere. Alexis Lafreniere. Drops it back to Addison. Addison to Lafreniere. Shoots. He whistled that wide.
He scored 2 goals in this tournament on the power play from that spot on this play.
Cozens couldn't reach the puck. Ratisha trying to backhand it out. And now it's knocked back down the ice. Veleno goes back to pick it up. Veleno blocked up at center ice, but gathers up the bouncing puck. In he comes. Joe Veleno. Centering pass for Lafreniere. Bounced off a skate. Addison retreats to pick it up. Up ahead is Lafreniere. Winds it across the line. Alexis Lafreniere peels back. Rink wide he goes to Hayton. Aaron Hayton. Swings it back to Addison. Lots of traffic in front. Addison drops it down to Hayton. He got spun around, and Denisenko plays it back to center. 35 seconds to go on the Canadian power play. Addison across to Cozens. In comes Dylan Cozens. Plays that back in the corner. Lafreniere picks it up. Centered a quick shot there by Veleno. Nikola makes the save. It drops down to Cozens. Plays it back to Addison. He can't reach it. Fresh legs on the ice for Canada on the power play. Hofer lifts out ahead. And picked up by Connor McMichael. In comes McMichael, the London Knight star. Hook checked away from him. Final second now, the power play. Smith goes back for it. One shot for Canada, that power play. Still a scoreless game. In comes Foot with a shot that was blocked. Rebounded. Now backing out is Lavoie. And the puck skipped over the glass into the mesh. Another play.
Well, the penalty killers have been on top of it for both teams. Canada 4 times, the Russians twice. The best Canadian chance is Joe Veleno here. Is outstanding work by Lafreniere. He times his stick lift nicely so he doesn't get a hooking penalty. And Veleno in tight tries to go short side roof. And Miftahoff makes the blocker save. A head shake from Veleno. He's had some tough luck around the front of the net in this tournament.
This is McMichael with Foot and Lavoie, the forward line for Canada. And the draw, one back to Lavoie with a quick shot that goes wide. Picked out by McMichael. He centers it. That's picked off by Sokolov. Igor Sokolov. Now through the middle, Denisenko had that poked away. Ball whacks at it and leaves it there for Foot. Foot's brother Cal won a gold medal with Canada at the Buffalo tournament in 2018. His dad, Adam, a two-time Stanley Cup champion, Olympic gold medalist in 2002 for Canada. Now Denisenko works in. Sharp angle shot, gloved by Hofer, and he'll squeeze that. A game dominated by special teams so far, scoreless in the second.
Something to keep an eye on. This is the 6th game on this ice sheet in the last 2 days. It's really warm in here today, by far the warmest day inside this arena. The ice has got to be getting soft if it's not already.
Earlier today, Kazakhstan beat Germany 6-1. Off the draw, that shot fired high and wide by Alexandrov. So Germany survives to play next year in Edmonton and Red Deer. Kazakhstan relegated. Austria comes up from Division 1A next year. The bronze medal game, Sweden beat Finland 3-2. McIsaac tried to work that ahead. He got tangled up in the corner. Now picked up by Dorofeyev. He got bumped off the puck by Smith. And away comes Ty Smith for Duda. Up for Delandria. The pass misfired. Zamula has it back now for the Russian. And Zamula sends that in deep. Hofer for Smith. Pass in the middle, chipped in by Valeno. Now Foudy with a chance, and Foudy run around and backhanded that wide. Alexandrov lost the puck to Dudas. Back in the corner is Delandria. Delandria got bumped to the corner. And now Delandria pins it back to the side of the goal for Foudy. Liam Foudy gets loose. Heels back in the corner. Foudy taken down by Pilyankov into the side of the net. And now Dudas trying to kick it free. Delandria on it. Alexandrov for Zamula. And Zamula to Nikita Alexandrov. He puts that wide. The Russians are changing. And Byram pokes it free. Byram across to Bernard Docker. There's for North Dakota in the NCAA. Up for Delandria moving in. And through Romanov. Now the puck loose in the corner for Lafreniere.
You got to be aware when Romanov's there. He steps up so aggressively in the middle of the ice.
Loose in the corner, jumping up is Bernard Docker to keep it alive. Backed up by Heat. Now Lafreniere with it. Lafreniere shovels across for Cozens. In comes Byram with it. In the corner he goes for Lafreniere. Lafreniere to the goal mouth. Forward Byram a chance. Shoots with the hop save. Rebound. Chance for Lafreniere. The puck is still loose. Batted wide by Heat. And now Romanov back with it for Russia. 5 gone here in the second period. Romanov works in. Alexander Romanov shovels that towards the goal. That was blocked by Byram. Heat pokes it ahead for Cozens. He chips that there for Byram. In comes Bowen Byram. Beats that down to the Russian zone, and Canada will change. Marchenko winds in. 5 Canadians converge on him. And Ball knocks it loose in the corner. Marchenko squeezed off the puck by Addison. Picked up by Valeno. And away comes Joe Valeno. Racing across the line, a long shot, but the play was offside at the Russian line.
Canada's had the better of the play here, aided by that early power play, but in this period, the puck's been in this end of the ice. Bowen Byram's down low. Short shot, chip shot by Lafreniere, and all kinds of chaos around the front of the net. Liam Foudy uses his sprinter's feet to get himself clean, and then tries to drive the net. Pilyankov makes a really strong play to run him out of real estate. In those tight spots, Foudy can explode and accelerate so quickly, makes it really difficult for the defenders to handle him.
Collins with the face-off, back to Smith.
Rare fourth-line shift for Canada.
We've not seen Quinton Byfield yet, the 13th forward for Canada. Havanov winds it across the line. Havanov dashes and shoots. Hofer makes the stop, point blank on Alexander Havanov. Now loose behind the goal. Denisenko trying to center it. And moved ahead to Thomas. Akil Thomas in, shoots, hit the hop, save. The rebound dropped right in the slot. Havanov plays it around. Addison knocks it back in the corner. Picked up by Lavoie. Raphael Lavoie. Got up by Havanov. At the point is Addison. Addison throws it back in the corner. Now Mercer on it. Knocked down by Ball. And the puck chipped back down the Canadian zone by Sokolov. Back goes Thomas across for Addison. Addison for McMichael, chips that down to the Russian zone. Back goes Zamula to pick it up. Shadowed by McMichael. Across he goes to Pilyankov. Alexandrov swings that back for Zamula. 7 gone here in the second period. Lead pass. Dorofeyev works and a backhand shot goes high. Alexandrov back with it. Knocked down by Dellandrea. His pass through the middle, kept alive for a moment by Romanov. And now ball up ahead for Dudas. A Dudas with a drive, and Miftahov makes the stop and hangs on. Joel Hofer took over the Canadian net mining duties midway through the opening round. Now Canada's #1 leads the tournament in save percentage.
Here's in the commercial break, Valeri Bragin, who's always behind this team, walks in front of them, and he's kind of meandering through them, offering some advice, offering a different way to play here. I find him, he always looks like such a disciplinarian, and I think he probably is. But he has a real connection here to speak to young players. You see it all the time.
Drysdale fired that right down. Now the Russian defense, but Denisenko blocks his stick. Jumping up is Drysdale to keep it alive. Knocked down by Cozens. Feeds across for Lafreniere. The pass missed for him. Sorkin. Around for Romanov. Alexander Romanov. Up ahead for Retichev. That was knocked down. Hayton back with it. Being shadowed there by Kruglov. And a penalty coming down to Russia. Wait a second. This is going against Canada. It's Hayton for holding the stick.
This is the second penalty that Kruglov has drawn in this game for the Russians. A holding the stick penalty down the boards is... Oh, boy. I gotta say, I thought the 4 penalties in the first period were penalties. I don't like that one.
So the Russians back to the power play. Hayton had no idea that was on him.
Yeah, that's not a penalty. Canada's got a beef with this one, but now they've got to kill it off.
Russia 0 for 4 in the power play with 6 shots. Morozov, Marchenko, up front with Cozens. Romanov in the back end. Along with Dorofeyev. Puck loose in front, picked up by McIsaac. And Jared McIsaac lifts that back down to the Russian zone. McIsaac got tied up there by Romanov.
The Canadian bench was giving it to Romanov. He turned around and yelled something back at them.
In comes Morozov. Loose behind the Canadian goal. A centering pass was blocked there by Foudy, and McIsaac sends it down. Miftahov out to play it, being watched there by Dellandrea. Brings it around for Romanov.
I'm at a loss why Russia's starting this power play unit. Every power play, they just haven't been good.
Marchenko in shoots, and Hofer makes a stop on him. Now Marchenko back with it. Drops it back to Romanov. Romanov with a wrist shot that was blocked by Valeno. Marchenko in for Morozov. Walks in and fires. Hofer saved. Rebound, and Hofer's got that too.
Hofer's getting a standing O from the Canadian fans here. What an outstanding performance as Marchenko weaves his way through Bernard Docker and Byram. This hits the shaft of the stick of Hofer. Here's the Romanov hit. He ends up crashing heavily into the boards, and as he goes by the bench, you can see them all barking at him now. He's turning around to yell at them. What a terrific performance we're seeing from Joel Hofer. Canada's goaltender who's taken over in the net, their best penalty killer. He's made 4 or 5 great stops.
Alex Zamula off the face-off win, has that ramp off the stick of Dellandrea. Joe Valeno led Canada in ice time in the opening period. The statisticians had him losing all 6 of the draws he took.
Part of the problem with all these penalties, aside from you're using some people a lot, is some guys aren't getting on the ice at all.
Right.
You need Alexis Lafreniere on the ice, but he doesn't kill penalties, and so he sits over there and has a watch while Canada's penalty killers are going to work.
Voronkov wins the draw back to Zamula. Zamula to Denisenko. Voronkov posted in front, trying to shake off ball. Alexandrov a backdoor pass, and the shot by Havanov deflects wide. Havanov centering pass went off a skate. Foudy kicks it ahead for Dellandrea. He can't knock it out. Now Foudy's got it shorthanded. In comes Foudy. On Zamula. peels back and falls and slides that back behind the Russian goal. 35 seconds to go on the Russian power play. Zamula feeds it back to Denisenko. Denisenko works in. Walks right in. Denisenko in, shoots, and Hofer got a piece of that. Denisenko feeds that back to Zamula. Now Zamula along wrist shot. Tip scored! Alexandrov gets a piece, and the power play goal gives Russia a 1-0 lead.
I talked earlier about Russia using that other unit first all the time. I don't get it. It hasn't scored for them. This unit comes on late in the power play, and it's a simple shot by Zamula. It's tipped by Alexandrov. They're going to take a look at this, but this is a goal deflected out in the high slot. Right there. By Nikita Alexandrov, a second-round pick of the St. Louis Blues this past June. This will be his second goal of the tournament. And it goes between the legs of Joel Hofer.
Alexandrov, the only Russian player with a point in every game in the tournament. Plays for Charlottetown in the Quebec Major Junior League. He's a second-round pick of the St. Louis Blues. So the two officials from Finland, Lassi Heikkinen and Christian Wickman, looking at this.
Everybody sits and waits, and we've had a couple of looks at it. Of course, nobody on the ice here. The players haven't seen it because they don't show it on the board until the final decision is made. We'll get another look. Watch Alexandrov, 24. Deflects this right between the dots. Igor Zamula, a free agent signing by the Philadelphia Flyers out of the Calgary Hitmen. There's the deflection, and Hofer's going up high for it. It drops straight down between his feet. So now we're halfway through this game. The decision will be made here in the next minute or so, I would assume. But Canada's discussion has to be, we've been shorthanded 5 times. No more penalties. Let's get our feet moving. Let's start to keep pushing the play, because most of this second period, until this latest penalty, which I didn't love, was in the Russian end of the ice. Canada's forecheck had started to generate a little bit.
Yeah, the Canadians didn't like the call and likely won't like the result. They are taking a long look at this.
So it's below the crossbar is the deciding line.
Right.
I mean, with all due respect, it's not even close.
And here comes the call. It's a goal, and the Russians have a 1-0 lead. Alexandrov has 2 goals in the tournament, both against Canada.
So Dale Hunter goes right to Lafreniere, Hayton, and Cozens, which is the right move. And now you got to start generating some shift after shift momentum. As aggressive as you can be without opening the game up and giving up a man advantage break. Canada's got another gear in this game, Gord. If it stays 5-on-5, we'll find that gear as it moves along, but it has to be then. It can't be shorthanded and killing penalties all the time.
First goal allowed by Hofer on 54 shots in over 100 minutes. In comes Cozens. Dylan Cozens, the backhand shot, put that wide. Coming over to Bernard Docker. He shoots. Fired that wide. Now Byram goes back to the Canadian zone and picks up the rolling puck. Tries to go to Bernard Docker. Lafreniere chips that down. Hayton goes in after it. Live there with Nizuel.
There's no way that Canadian bench didn't notice Hayton go in and throw a body check. That's the first time physically he's gotten into it today.
Now Marchenko winds in. His drop pass picked off by Cozens. Throws it back to center ice. Marchenko had to take away Bernard Docker in front of the cuts the back hand shot. Up by Dimitrov, rebound, Lafreniere turned away. Lafreniere, penalty coming out of Russia. Ty Smith feeds it across. The extra skater comes on for Canada. This will fly. There might be a second penalty here.
There is.
They're going to vote. It's going to be a 5-on-3 for Canada. 9:21 to go in the second period. Canada down one. It's going to get a two-man advantage.
What an enormous opportunity here for Canada. Dylan Cozens turned aside. Girafalov gets called for slashing, and then Voronkov on the same play takes a holding penalty. So a 5-on-3, 2-minute power play for Canada.
It'll be Veleno, Lafreniere, Cozens up front, Hayton on the back end along with Addison.
About a minute after the Russians took a 1-0 lead, Dale Hunter goes off the draw with Hayton, Lafreniere, and Cozens. They generate a scoring chance, a penalty, and then another one. It's a huge moment in the game.
Veleno wins the face-off back to Addison, to Hayton. Aaron Hayton, back to Addison. Dylan Addison to Dylan Cozens. Veleno parks in front. 5-on-3 for 2 minutes. Hayton walks right in. Feeds it down to Lafreniere. Alexis Lafreniere. Winds it and shoots. Niptahov save. Rebound. Loses, but they score! Dylan Cozens ties the game!
I think Cozens has gotten better game by game by game. The big Lethbridge Hurricane forward, 6'3", such an explosive skater, has become a dominant force offensively. Watch him find the loose puck. Veleno's fishing around in front of the net on the rebound of the Lafreniere shot. He's occupied the defenseman, Galchenyuk. Nobody can find Dylan Cozens. And he puts it in. Now, it'll be interesting here. Niptahov came flying out of the net, talking to the officials. He thinks he's been interfered with.
Here's the funny part of it, Ray. The Russians don't have any walkie-talkie communication at the bench that we've noticed. No one has an earpiece in, so they don't seem to be communicating with a coach upstairs. Now, Javi Bulin's jumped on a walkie-talkie to talk to him to see if they might challenge this.
From the overhead, it looks fine to me. It is fine. Canada's tied the game up, and they have 1:35 left on the second part of this power play.
Dylan Cozens makes history in this World Junior Championship, the first player on the Canadian roster from UConn. The Buffalo Sabres' first-round pick. Ties it up, and now Cozens works it in. Cozens drops it back to Addison. Cross he goes to Veleno. Down to Lafreniere. Lafreniere, back to Veleno, a hard shot. Niptahov saves the puck, still loose, and the fighting trickles down to Niptahov. He'll hang on to that, and Niptahov throws his stick. His mask comes off, and he clutches his head.
Not so sure what happened other than a dramatic fall. As we'll take a look. It's Romanov who's the Russian defender.
He fell.
Yeah, he's trying to draw a penalty here, perhaps. Let's get another look at the goal. Alexis Lafreniere walks out high. Remember on the 5-on-4, Lafreniere's on the other side of the ice. He shoots it from the right wing. The save is made by Niptahov. And now in that traffic, Joe Veleno fishes that puck out of there to get a second opportunity. And from the back door, here comes Dylan Cozens for his second of the tournament.
And he'll take the draw now.
Cozens has 9 points in the tournament.
Off the draw, Hayton battling for it. Down to Cozens. Veleno comes in as well. To an open wing it goes. Ratishev races to it. But Veleno got a stick on him, lost his own stick, and quickly retrieves it. Now the pass bounces down to the Canadian zone. Hofer has to stay in his net as Sorkin comes in. Along with Ratishev. Ratishev was calling for it. And And Sorkin could get the puck to him. Now flips it back to center ice to Jaravlov. 40 seconds to go in the Canadian power play. Fired down. Hofer leaves it there for Addison. Top power play back on the ice for Canada. Addison up ahead for Heat. Flips it across to Valeno. That pass misfired. Now Lafreniere has it. Alexis Lafreniere works it back to Addison. Halen Addison. 20 seconds to go on the power play. Here's Heaton with it. Barrett Heat drops it back to Addison. Addison in for Lafreniere. Across the Heat. Shoots. That goes high. And Addison can't quite hold the line. Lead pass for Lafreniere. Chips at it high off the glass. Puck Cozens picks it up. 3 shots on the entire power play for Canada. That puck goes over the glass. And it's a 1-1 tie with 7:16 to go in the second period.
Well, these are the two best teams. The difference between the two teams is minuscule. The Russians are 1 for 5 on the power play. Canada's 1 for 4. Barrett Hayton has a good chance to shoot the puck. He stops it rather than one-times it and zings it up over top of Miftahov and his glove side.
The officials talking this over. The face-off will come outside. They said it went off a Canadian stick, but now the linesman talking to the referee. So the face-off will be outside the Russian line. There's Andre Tournier, the Canadian assistant coach, a long-time assistant for Hockey Canada, head coach of their under-18 team.
Really critical in these games as they get more and more pressure filled that the coaches keep their composure. You've got a bunch of teenagers in front of the bench or on the bench in front of you. They see you come unraveled. It's pretty easy for them to as well.
Now McIsaac. Turn over to Dorofeyev. Chips out ahead for Morozov. Morozov works behind the goal. McIsaac lifted his stick. Now they collide in the corner. Morozov feeds it down to Dorofeyev. And Ty Smith stays with him. Alexandrov, a centering pass, knocked down by McIsaac, throws it back to center. And Zamula goes back to pick it up. Now knocked down by Canada's Connor McMichael. And McMichael ahead for Lavoie. With so much penalty killing here, so many of these Canadian players haven't really been in the rhythm of the game. In comes Alexandrov walking in, shoots, hoping to save, rebound, loose in front, picked up by Byram. Now Dellandrea. He's got Foudy with him. Ty Dellandrea across the Foudy, one-time shot. Oh, what a save by Miftahov. Back at the point. Bernard Docker with it now. Bernard Docker feeds it down to Foudy. Foudy spins and shoots. Deflected puck, bounced down in front. As Koyenkov got in the way, and the Russians ice it. Now they'll say it was touched by a Canadian. And Bernard Docker goes back to pick it up. Sweeps that ahead to Foudy. Working with Dellandrea. Lead pass for Dudas. Shoots. Miftahov the save. Rebound skipped away from Dellandrea. Ball comes on. Knocked down by Dellandrea. Picked up now by Foudy. Here's Dudas with it. Going to drop that back. And Denisenko throws it back to center ice. In comes Hobanov with Sokolov. Hobanov spins back in the corner. And the hulking Sokolov comes in as well. He collides with Ball. Sokolov, 6'4", 240 pounds, throws that back. Romanov fires, saved by Hofer. Rebound, moves in front. Hofer down, they score! Denisenko gives Russia a 2-1 lead.
Last year's leading scorer of the tournament, Grigori Denisenko, gets his 3rd of this tournament. Puck battle won behind the net. Sokolov's shot, or pass rather, goes back to the point. And Denisenko is going to be stopped once, and he stays at it to push it underneath the pad of Joel Hofer. One stop, but not enough. The puck's not covered. And Denisenko has given Russia a 2-1 lead.
5:14 to go here in the second period. 5-on-5 goal. And now Cozens rather. Up to Lafreniere. Missul around for Jaravlov. Through the middle of Voronkov, up for Marchenko. Marchenko butts in on Addison. Shovels that towards the goal. Hofer makes the save. Knocked down by Drysdale to the line, but not out. Missul a long shot. Hofer to stop on that. And he'll cover the rebound. 4:49 to go here in the opening period. Canada ties it up on a 5-on-3. Denisenko restores the Russian lead.
Great save at one end, goal at the other. Happens so often. What a pass from Delandre. Foodie gets all kinds of wood on it. Miftahov read it, came across to make the save. This shot hits the shin guard, the neck guard of Joel Hofer, and it bounced off. If it hits his chest, he's probably going to control it, but it hit the plastic neck guard. It bounces off. Denisenko gets 2 whacks at it, and it's in the net.
Nolan Foote from McMichael feeds that down. And now Foote chips that back in front. Kept alive by McIsaac. Jared McIsaac works in. Goes that towards the goal. McMichael couldn't reach it. Now Sorkin to center ice to Kruglov. Ilya Kruglov works in. On Ty Smith. Kruglov still with it. Tried the wraparound up the side of the goal. Kruglov feeds it back to Romanov. His shot goes off a foot. Romanov, by the way, turns 20 tomorrow, the oldest Russian player. His last game of the World Junior, he's plus 16 in 13 games. The best plus-minus ever posted by a Russian player in the tournament. Dorofeyev. Back he goes. The centering pass for Alexandrov missed. Malinia comes up. Alexandrov. Back to Morozov. Winds and shoots. That was blocked by McIsaac. Now Foote flips it back. Takes the pass from Veleno. In comes Nolan Foote. Lifts that down. And Jared McIsaac is limping off the ice for Canada. Galenyuk. In across the blue line. Fires that down. Alexandrov now. Rings it around. Byram. Up for Akil Thomas. That pass was blocked. Alexandrov sends it back in deep for Sokolov. Sokolov works it free. Now Havanov comes in to help him out. Thomas on it. Picked up by Bernard Docker. Jacob Bernard Docker, the Canmore, Alberta native, for Mercer. Dawson Mercer flips it back in front to Byram. He chipped that wide. Lavoie down to Mercer. That pass misfired. Now Bernard Docker fires. Hit the hop save. Rebound. Loose it, but Thomas can't connect on it. And now Mercer bumped by Denisenko. Picked up by Zhuravlov. And now Sokolov, long shooted. Havanov comes across the line, but the play's offside at the Canadian line.
Now every play is so critical now as we get to the latter stages of the second period. Jared McIsaac's blocked a couple of shots today. This one catches him just at the top of the shin pad on the side. Hobbles his way over to the Canadian bench.
2:46 to go here in the period. Zamula plays it across to Polyenkov, moved in by Podkolzin. Hofer brings that around, knocked down by Podkolzin. Polyenkov a long shot, that was blocked by Cozens. And now Dylan Cozens is shaken up. Barely able to get back on his feet at center ice. In comes Marchenko on Addison. Marchenko with it, throws it back in front. Addison blocked that. Cozens can't reach that pass. He can hardly move. Now Addison throws it in for Lafreniere. Icing waved off. Cozens a long way from the Canadian bench. Finally gets there now.
Basically pushed himself there on one leg.
Bernard Docker has that pass knocked down by Marchenko at center ice. And Marchenko and Bernard Docker, a huge collision at the Canadian line. In comes Hayton. Barrett Hayton with a centering pass. Lafreniere shot, rebound. Looking at that, Bernard Docker a chance. That was blocked in front. The loose puck fired down the ice. What a chance there for Canada. A save and a blocked shot turned them away.
Jacob Bernard Docker has become one of Canada's most sturdy defensemen in this tournament. He's going to step up on Marchenko. That is a textbook. Shoulder to chest hit. Clean. Both players up. Fine. Lafreniere will create this chance by taking the puck down low. And Miftahov, who came in relief in the semifinal, makes another excellent save for Russia.
Ty Smith feeds it across. McIsaac was back up there for Canada. Lead pass for Cooney, but the play was offside. 1:36 to go, and Dylan Cozens still shaking it off on the Canadian bench.
Yeah, you see him just nodding his head. He says he's okay, but man, he was in a little discomfort going back to the bench. This shot catches him in the knee. Must have hit him somewhere where there's a nerve. And
off the draw, the quick shot up by Hofer on Krugloff. Another chance, and Hofer turns that away. Fires wide by Sorkin. Loose in the corner. Ratishev trying to pick it out. Sorkin comes in as well. McIsaac. Up ahead to Foot. Nolan Foot. Pokes out a hit for Dellandrea. High Dellandrea. Sends it back in front. Just missed Foot with that pass. Now Maxim Sorkin. Throws that back for Romanov. 1 minute to go in the second period. Dorofeyev. Moved off a puck by Bernard Docker. Now a chance for Canada the other way. Valeno along with Hayton. And Valeno moves that down. Hayton works that free to Valeno. Hayton pokes it around. Canada in the middle of a change here. Misuse banks it off the boards. Glove down by Byram. Feeds it back to Bernard Docker. Jacob Bernard Docker across the line. Moves it and shoots. Miftahoff punches that away. And it goes over the glass and out of play. And the faceoff will be in the Russian zone with 30 seconds to go in the period.
Last shift of the period, and Dale Hunter for the first time tonight that I can remember goes with Lafreniere, Valeno, and Hayton out on the ice together, with Dylan Cozens still stretching off that last block.
So Valeno for the faceoff. Voronkov will take the draw for Russia. Valeno gets a warning. Now Lafreniere pokes that down to Hayton. Spinning off Jaravlov, who takes him in hard. Valeno goes after it. Valeno pulls it free. Loose in front for Lafreniere. The puck skipped away from him. Byram steps up. Knocked by him. Addison retreats to pick up the loose puck. And Addison pivots back. What a play by Kalen Addison. Valeno drops. In comes Bowen Byram. Drops it back for Valeno. In, shoot. That was blocked. Rolls wide of the goal. Final seconds now of the period. Valeno tries to poke it free, and time expires here in the second period. And Pete got blocked.
That's a bad penalty by Zamula.
And they're going to get him for it. So right at the horn, Zamula is called, and Canada will start the third period on the power play.
Gord, I talked about at the very beginning of the game that discipline had to be a key. Igor Zamula takes an undisciplined penalty, a high stick or a cross check, and Canada will open the third period on the power play.
2-1, Russia leads after 40 minutes of play in the gold medal game of the 2020 World Junior Hockey Championship. Grigori Denisenko gets his third of the tournament, 2-1 Russia. Alexandrov and Denisenko both scored against Canada in the round-robin meeting. Gord Miller back here with Ray Ferraro. We began the day talking about Barrett Hayton, and he's been right in the middle of things all night.
Yeah, the game has gotten better and better for Hayton as the first and second period played out. I thought he had a really cautious start. When you're playing protecting an injury, you don't really trust that you're okay, even though the doctors say you're okay. Look at him avoiding the contact, trying to stay out of the way as the game goes on, and he's trying to be effective. But on the power play, he started to get the puck a little bit. That's in the first period. Here's in the second period. But what I like later in the period was this. He's engaged in the play. He now trusts a little bit that he's going to be okay. He helps feed a forecheck, and then late in the period, he tugs the glove of Zamula, who takes an undisciplined penalty. So the Canadian captain, who talked about leadership with his returning players before they got to the selection camp, how they could help lead, He's done nothing but lead in this tournament. And now he's a part of this power play with their 5th chance in the game and a chance to tie.
There's an issue with the net at the Canadian end, so they'll do some quick knitting on that to repair a hole in the bottom of it behind Joel Hofer. And so Canada opens the period on the power play. Final instructions from Mitch Love.
Mitch has been in charge of the power play pretty much since the get-go, and they really talked about, really wanted to stress a simplicity to their power play. Shot, attack, rebound, traffic. And you look at the success this power play has had in the tournament. 13 power play goals after Dylan Cozens got on the board in the second period.
This is the 25th year there's been a gold medal game at the World Junior, the 25th year of the playoff format. Canada has won the gold medal 17 times overall. Russia has won 13. This is Canada's 17th gold medal game since 1996. 9-7 coming in. The Russians 13th since 96. They're 4-8. So this repair taking some time. I want to take a moment to pay tribute to the Canadian fans who made the trip over here. They've been in evidence everywhere here in Ostrava and all surrounding areas. They've had a good time.
That's a shift.
That's just today.
Met some people that had gone to the Spengler Cup in Davos. That concluded with Canada's gold medal. And then they jumped on a flight and came here and are watching the end of this tournament as well.
Next year's tournament, Edmonton and Red Deer. By the way, the priority lottery, the closing deadline to register is tomorrow. So Canada on the power play. Cozens knocks it back for Lafreniere. Laid back to Addison. Caitlin Addison. Break wide, he goes for Hayton. And away comes Barrett Hayton across the line to Cozens. And Canada gets set up in the offensive zone. Addison flips that down to Hayton. Barrett Hayton to Cozens. Works it behind the goal and across to Veleno. Lafreniere on the high slot. Addison across to Hayton. A quick shot. Tipped wide by Cozens. Lafreniere back with it. Lays it around. Hayton knocks it down to the boards. Barrett Hayton. Swings that back to Addison. Long shot. That was blocked in front. Romanov going to stick on it. And Kaleniuk off the boards by Addison and down the ice. Nolan Foote for Canada has played just 8 minutes through 2 periods. There's so much penalty killing going on. Waiting his chance in the power play. Here's Veleno, goes rink wide now to Cozens. Dylan Cozens swings that back to Addison. Across he goes for Lafreniere. Inside a minute to go in the Canadian power play. Addison across to Lafreniere. Feeds across to Hayton. Back in front. Niptahov the save. And Voronkov moves it out short-handed for Russia. In comes Voronkov. A long shot. Hofer knocked that away but couldn't squeeze it. And now fired back down to the Russian zone by Mizyul. Canada gets fresh legs on the ice. Away comes Hayton. Hayton tied up, trying to play that back in deep. Alexandrov knocks it down. Krugloff works in short-handed. Krugloff pokes up behind the Canadian goal line. Bowen Byram back for it. And Byram flips it back for Lafreniere. Foot out there now. Lafreniere feeds the pass to him. Skipped off his stick. Kaleniuk has it and wrists it down the ice. 10 seconds to go in the power play. Ty Smith with it. Up ahead to Byron. The pass missed. Kaleniuk sends it right back down.
So now the difference is the 1 5-on-5 goal in the game. Both teams have had equal number of power plays, each with 1 power play goal.
Mizyul to Zhuravlov. Feeds that in the corner. Avanov looks down for Denisenko, and it's picked up by Lavoie. McMichael calling for it. Lead pass. Connor McMichael in alone. Stopped by Niptahov. Amir Niptahov turns away. McMichael on the breakaway. Ty Smith lines it across to McIsaac. He fans in the clearing attempt. Sokolov drops it back for Denisenko. And Denisenko with it. Down to Havanov. Now Sokolov tied up there by Ty Smith. Smith trying to poke it ahead. Lavoie on it. At the line. And Zamula with a long shot knocked away by Hofer. Now another chance. That's flipped wide by Havanov. Havanov. Back to Pilyankov. To Havanov. A big battle in front. Sokolov got a stick on that. Hofer down, the wraparound try for Sokolov, turned away. Now LeBlanc has it back. Canada breaks out. As McIsaac goes ahead to McMichael. McMichael down to McIsaac, who's jumped in on Polyenko. Canada changing off the bench comes Foudy. And Liam Foudy plays that in, knocked down by Kruglov.
Well, what a chance for Connor McMichael to tie this game. Gorgeous feed from LeBlanc to send him in.
Bernard Docker flips it back to Kevin Ball. Lead pass on the table, Dellandrea. Ty Dellandrea works in. Dellandrea with a shot, left-footed wide. Romanov back on it. Dellandrea launched into him. And now Kruglov to the line, but not out. Addison a long shot. Miftahoff swept that away. Foudy picks it up. Liam Foudy loose along the board. Chops that down to Dellandrea. Here's Romanov with it with time. Out to center ice. Marchenko with it. By Addison, and back his ball to pick it up. Ball pokes it there for Dellandrea. Marchenko picked it off, and now Addison has it back. Hooks that to Foudy. And now Ball back with it. Ball spins that back to Addison. Both teams changing now as Addison flips out ahead for Valeno. Joe Valeno. Caught up by Alexandrov, spins free. Now Valeno slides it across to Bernard Docker. A centering pass. Valeno tipped that, and Miftahoff kicked that away.
Lafreniere on the ice with foot, and Valeno this time.
Byram, a lead pass. That missed Lafreniere. Icing waved off as Daniel Missul goes back. Pokes it ahead to Dorofeyev. Dorofeyev to Missul, jumping in. Plays that in the corner for Alexandrov. Now Missul, who had lost his stick, is in the play. Missul picks it up. Plays it down to Dorofeyev. He gets loose for Morozov. They collide behind the goal. Dorofeyev pokes it free. Byram leaves it there for Valeno. And Valeno lifts that back to center ice. Knocked down by Zamula. Picked up by Malyshev. Polyenko, rather. Leaves it back for Zamula. Now Zamula. Winds that down to the Canadian zone. Jimmy Drysdale goes back for it. Zamula in deep court to Sokolov. He's tied up. Sokolov works free on Drysdale. Denisenko throws it back in the corner for Sokolov. Back in the corner is Zamula for Havanov. Havanov works free. Now Polyenko a shot off the stick of Mercer. It trickles down to Hofer, and he hangs on to that.
Connor McMichael has got goals in 3 straight games, and he gets a breakaway here. A gorgeous feed from Raphael Lavoie. Miftahoff holds his ground, and as McMichael tries to go up over the blocker, he's able to push it away. The Russians were on a change, and that opened up the one side of the ice. The bench applauds their goaltender, and McMichael can only rue the chance that got away.
Now Akil Thomas with a face-off against Kruglov. And Kruglov feeds that back to Galenya. Cozens racing to it, chops that loose puck. Bertyshev had to go off his skate, poked ahead to McMichael. Looking at for Thomas, that was knocked down by Romanov. Russia's defense, for me, Gord, quite surprisingly, has been very aggressive in this period. We've seen Zamula down behind the other net, Missul, and then Romanov pinching all the way to the corner. If Canada can make a quick, short breakout pass to a supporting centerman, they might get out of there on a man advantage break again. Ball fires that in. Galenya looks ahead. That was knocked down by McMichael, who throws it back in. McMichael down to Thomas. That was knocked down and brought up by Voronkov. In on Ball. Voronkov peels back and shoots. That was blocked by Ball. He picks it up. And now Kevin Ball leads the rush. His pass rink wide was knocked away by Pud Colson. And Akil Thomas has to retreat to the bench. Canada had a delayed offside coming. Morozov to the Canadian line. Knocked down by Byram. Bernard Docker drops it back to Bowen Byram, the 4th overall pick in last year's NHL draft to Colorado. In comes Byram. Lays it around. Alexandrov gets there for the Russians. Chops it to the line and not out. Now it's picked up. Brought up by Dorofeyev. For Morozov, that pass intercepted by Dellandrea. He's got Foudy with him. Liam Foudy throws that at a bouncing puck took away by Miftahoff. In comes Glenn on the forecheck. Foudy with a shot that goes wide. Dorofeyev on it. Lays it in for Morozov. Throws that back for Zamula. 12.5 to go here in the third period. Russia with a 2-1 lead. Denisenko drops that back to Havanov. That's picked off by McIsaac and skipped away from him. Havanov pokes the free. Now McIsaac goes racing to it. McIsaac up for Delandria. The center ice for Foudy. Throws that rink wide. Heaton going after it. On Galenya. Heaton takes a bump there. Moves the puck ahead. Now Heaton works it free. Kicks it loose in the corner and puts it back across for McIsaac. Sorkin up ahead for Denisenko. Grigori Denisenko comes leaping on Smith. Now flies behind the goal of McIsaac. Heaton back for it. Sorkin trying to work that free. McIsaac on it now. And Jared McIsaac works it free. McIsaac a lead pass that was knocked out at center ice. Moved ahead by Sorkin. He finds Krugloff. Bumped there by Smith. Now for a sharp angle. That shot taken by Ratichin. Stopped by Hofer. Third chance in front. Quick shot, score! Maxim Sorkin snaps it home, and Russia leads 3-1.
Joel Hofer has made next to no mistakes in the Canadian goal. He makes one here as a sharp angle shot he can't handle, and the rebound is going to allow the play to continue. There's really nothing going on in this play. Russia will chip it deep. And this shot's from the corner. Hofer leads the rebound, and that leaves McIsaac stuck halfway between defending Sorkin in front of the net. He tries to block it. Sorkin's shot, his first point of the tournament, beats Joel Hofer. Canada's got a huge hole now, down by 2 with 11 minutes left.
So 11 minutes to go here in the third period. Russia with a 2-goal lead. Seeking their first gold medal since 2011 when they beat Canada in that comeback in Buffalo. Moved ahead by Cozens. In comes Cozens across the line. Dylan Cozens works back along the boards. Drops that back to Byram. He feeds across to Addison. Kalen Addison is shot. That trickles down. They score! Tipped by McMichael. And Canada's back within 1. 34 seconds after the Russian goal. This might get reviewed. But McMichael turned away on the breakaway earlier. Gets a deflection here.
The official was making the review sign almost immediately. McMichael is up. Oh, it's in the top of the slot. They want this reviewed, whether McMichael directs this into the net with his right foot or not. Oh, I don't think so. I mean, that puck is halfway up his shin pad. He lifts his foot off the ice, but it would be hard.
You cannot direct the puck
right
any manner with your foot under IHF rules. In the NHL, you can turn your blade. If they rule that he turned his foot to direct it, that would be no goal. It's a subtle difference between the IHF rule and the NHL rule.
But it matters a lot here.
Right. Now, he wasn't looking. I mean, the puck was behind him.
So they'll have to determine that. I mean, was he trying to get it to the front of the net? Was he trying to get out of the way of it? Was he trying to let it hit him? They're going to have to determine that. That's going to be a tough one. The shot is partially blocked here. And it bounces all the way across the ice.
Well, it's off one foot and off the other. So, I mean, that's hard to say he directed that.
It would be really hard for me to buy that he was good enough to direct that to the net. So it deflects off Voronkov. off the right shin and calf.
It's a goal. Canada's back within one.
That's the right call.
So 10:40 to go. Canada once again down one.
Isn't that the way it is? You miss a breakaway, one bounces off your calf and into the net. Canada, that's the first time that line in that configuration was together. McMichael's on the ice with Lavoie. There's the Addison shot that deflected off of McMichael in the net. So Lavoie and Addison, or Lavoie, McMichael, and Cozens were out together.
Now this is his foot. Centering Heaton and Lafreniere. Addison, lead pass for Heaton, chips in for Lafreniere. Galchenyuk knocks it down. Feeds out ahead for Alexandrov. Going to spin away from Addison. Alexandrov walks in a little backdoor pass. Missed for Dorofeyev. Romanov keeps it alive. Now here's Nolan Foot with it. Foot. The Kelowna Rocket to the western leg. Brings back with Byram. And now Byram lifts that down to the Russian zone. Into the forecheck goes Lafreniere. Heaton trying to knock that free from Sokolov. Rozov goes into center ice. Knocked down by Lafreniere for Smith. In comes Ty Smith. Smith drops it off for Foot. Alexandrov got in the way. Heaton knocked it down. Beat down to Foot. Nolan Foot with a little shoots at a sharp angle. That goes high. Knocked down by Ball.
Well, we're in for a finish now.
Ball fires it down. When aren't we?
These teams have played some unbelievable medal round games.
Romanov. Hooked free by McKnight, but the play is offside at the Russian line. Russia takes a 3-1 lead. Back comes Canada. The goal by McMichael. Now 3-2. On the right is René Fizel, the president of the IHF since 1994. He's stepping down when his term expires in September. On the left is Frank Gonzalez, the tournament chairman. Originally from St. Catharines, Ontario, is now the president of the Spanish Ice Sports Federation. Not just hockey, figure skating, curling, luge, bobsled, you name it. McMichael throws that ahead for Addison. Taylor Addison, a centering pass, knocked down by Kruglov in front. Kruglov back across to Sorkin. Maxim Sorkin shoots it in. Gloved by Hofer, and he'll hang on to that.
Connor McMichael starting to get more and more ice time here in the third period. He missed a breakaway. He's got the goal off of his leg. He plays for Dale Hunter in London, so there would be a great familiarity for Hunter to know where he thinks that McMichael would fit. Now he's out with Veleno and Foodie.
Foodie another London night. Now Polyenkov with it. Polyenkov in the corner on McMichael. Plays that back at the point for Sorkin. Winds and shoots. Bouncing puck. Hofer gets down to the deflection and makes the stop.
Good traffic in front of Hofer. He's got to find it again, make the save, but that rebound control that the players always talked about here comes into play again. It's a long shot. Sorkin's at the point covering for the defenseman, and Ratishev is inside of Ty Smith. Hofer has to track that, and he makes a really difficult save.
Now Voronkov with a face-off against Delandria. Off the face-off win by Delandria.
Penalty coming up for Russia here.
Delandria took with a high stick. Lafreniere picks it up. And as Marchenko touches up with 8:48 to go in the third period, Canada's going to the power play as Voronkov goes off.
Second penalty of the game for Voronkov as he just runs straight over top of Ty Delandria.
Veleno, Cozens, Lafreniere, Heaton, and Addison come out on the Canadian power play. Canada 1 for 5 with 5 shots total. The goal scored by Dylan Cozens on a 5-on-3. Veleno gets a warning. the face-off back to Addison. Kalen Addison for Lafreniere. Alexis Lafreniere back to Kalen Addison. Across to Hayton, walks it and shoots, scores! Barrett Hayton has tied the game! He can barely raise his arms, but he can score a tying goal in the gold medal game.
What an inspirational, important, critical goal by their team captain. I saw Hayton earlier today. I thought there was no chance he was going to be able to play. I'm shocked he's in the game, and I'm amazed at how hard he has played as this game went on. He was nervous early, got himself into the game, and this power play finds Hayton with the wrister. A beauty up over the blocker of Miftahov. Addison sets it up as he's done all tournament, and the captain comes through to tie the game at 3.
Now that pass picked up at center ice by Dorofeyev, working on Bernard Docker. 8.5 to go in the third period, a 3-3 tie. Foudy. Rink wide pass, knocked down by McMichael. He chops that back to the Russian zone. Alexandrov with it. And now Morozov picks it off. In comes Morozov around Foudy. Tries to kick that free. Waits for teammates to arrive. Picked up by Foudy again. And Foudy shovels that down to the Russian zone. That'll be icing against Canada.
What an unbelievable performance. You can only imagine the disappointment of Barrett Hayton yesterday when he was driven into the boards. It looked like we heard him yell in the arena. The injury seemed like there was no way he was going to be in the lineup. His third period goal has erupted the Canadian bench.
Face-off won by Dellandrea. Moves that down to McMichael. And now the Russians call for icing.
The Russians are starting to lose their cool here a little bit. This time it was Havanov. All of a sudden, Russia has taken more penalties than Canada in this game. 6-5 on the power plays. Canada with 2 power play goals, Russia with 1. You know, Gord, I'm looking at this 3-3 game, and we're talking right now about the Hayton power play goal. Let's not forget the McMichael goal. That was 34 seconds after the Russians took a 3-1 lead. If there was momentum that needed to be changed, something had to happen. And it was the McMichael goal off the back of his leg that helped springboard Canada into a position to tie this game.
Canada with goals 2 minutes and 1 second apart to tie it up. And now a centering pass by Foudy was blocked. Check that Lafreniere, and now Cozens with it. Back at the point is Hayton. Barrett Hayton walks across the top. He's shot there by Havanov. Gets around Denisenko. Hayton still with it. Loose in the corner, taken down by Zamula. Lafreniere on it. Works out of the corner, Lafreniere. Spins and shoots. That drifts off a skate. Over the glass and out of play. Barrett Hayton, the Peterborough, Ontario native, becomes a Canadian junior legend with a tying goal here in the third. Time now for the Gatorade shift of the game.
Trailing 3-2 just a few moments ago. Kalen Addison finds the captain, Barrett Hayton. Hayton's wrister beats Miftahov. This game is tied at 3.
Gatorade, rehydrate, replenish, refuel. Bueno steps in for the face-off against Kruglov. Bueno up there with Dudas and Foot. Face-off, one back to Byram. Owen Byram. Down to Dudas. In the corner for Foot. Foot trying to poke that back. Dudas sealed the boards, now picked up. And moved ahead by Sorkin. Out to play it is Hofer. Leaves it there for Addison. Now Valeno knocked it down. And Kruglov fires it back down. Byram. There's Valeno. Joe Valeno. Feeds that back to Byram. Madison up for Valeno. Gets that down the Russian zone. It's knocked down there by Misyul. Now Byram shields off Marchenko. And Byram back with it. Puck squirts back in front. Hofer knocks that away and flips it back to center. Foudy can fly, and he comes on Misyul. And Misyul quickly knocked that away from him. Voronkov flips that ahead. Knocked down by Bernard Docker. Around he goes to Foudy. Now Misyul drops it back to Zhuravlov. Misyul. Gains center ice and flips that down. Put it over the glass. But from center ice, there's no penalty, and the faceoff will be at center ice. 5:45 to go in the third period. It's Canada and Russia. Knotted at 3 in the third period of the gold medal game of the 2020 World Junior Hockey Championship. Back here on Ostrava, 5:45 to go in the third period. Canada and Russia for the gold medal here. Barrett Hayton has the tying goal for Canada. And now Smith gains center ice and fires that down to the Russian zone. In comes Hayton on the forecheck. Drop back, and that shot fired wide by Cozens. Alexandrov knocked down by Hayton with a high stick. Waved off as the Russians played it. Alexandrov drops it back for Pilienko. If the game is tied in regulation, it's 3-on-3 overtime until there's a winner. There's no shootout in the gold medal game. Dorofeyev drops that back. Zamula long shot. Hofer makes the stop. And Bernard Docker has it back.
Barrett Hayton's in some distress at the Canadian bench. He got hit right in front of the penalty boxes here.
Now brought in by Havanov. Havanov works in on ball, shoots. Hofer makes the stop and is able to hang on.
Hayton's talking to athletic therapist Mike Bernstein. Across the ice from the Canadian bench, Hayton's going to get run into.
There's the second up from Rozov.
You see how tightly he grips that left arm to his body. Not really a big hit. I mean, he's finishing the check on him, and you can see Hayton right away, man. That stings for him. Staying on the bench, however.
Denisenko had that shot deflect wide. Hofer plays it around to foot. Knocked down by Dellandrea. Plays it back for ball. Now Dellandrea pulls that free for Canada, along with Foot. Dellandrea works it ahead, fires that down to the Russian zone, and they're going to call that icing as the shooting came from the other side of center ice. 4:33 to go, and the face-off back down to the Canadian zone.
Valeri Bragin sees his team with a 3-1 lead. 34 seconds after Maxim Sorkin scored to make it 3-1. Connor McMichael made it 3-2, and then Barrett Hayton tied it up on the power play.
Face off, one back by Kruglov to Zhuravlov. Feeds that back to Sorkin, a long shot. Hofer to save. And now picked up by Lavoie. Raphael Lavoie skates it in along with Nolan Foot. Canada changing. Lavoie fires. That goes high. Foot back on it, knocks it down. Off the bench comes Thomas. Lavoie works it free. Back for Thomas. Akil Thomas to the point he goes. The puck squirted out on Bernard Docker. Now moved ahead. In comes Thomas with a chance. Moves it, but he scores! Akil Thomas has given Canada the lead with less than 4 minutes to go in the third period. His first goal of this World Junior Hockey Championship.
Akil Thomas had played under 4 minutes in this game through 2 periods. He's on the ice with the injury to Barrett Hayton. The centers are moved around a little bit. This loose puck. Akil Thomas jumps to it. The second-round pick of the Los Angeles Kings gets to the loose puck. Miftahoff misses the poke check. His first goal, as you mentioned, Gord, his second point of the tournament. And Akil Thomas has made it 4-3 Canada.
And now Valeri Bragin is talking to referee Lassi Heikkinen.
The only thing I could think that they may be challenging or want to challenge is the entry into the zone. It seems like it's okay. Think of Tyler Steenbergen a couple of years ago in Buffalo. Doesn't have a shift forever. His first goal in the tournament turns out to win the gold medal. Nikita Thomas have done the same thing.
Now Fulyenkov goes back for it. What a turn of events. Canada has its first lead. Dudas down to Foudy. Liam Foudy works it free. Now Foudy in the corner with it. Foudy works that down. Valeno will play a ton here down the stretch. Knocks that back in the corner. Zamula. Russians came back to tie against the Swedes in the semifinal. Won the game in overtime. Now trying for the equalizer here. Barchenko turns it over. Dudas out to Valeno. And Podkolzin has it back. Vasily Podkolzin works in. Podkolzin, poke check by Valeno. That comes Lafreniere with Valeno. Lafreniere in, shoots, that goes wide. Picked up now by Romanov. Alexander Romanov winds in. In on Ball, Kevin Ball. Separated Podkolzin from the puck. Now a chance on the side of goal. Podkolzin down, rolling wide. A penalty coming to Canada. Havanov feeds it back to Denisenko. In for Havanov. Havanov, a centering pass. That missed Romanov. And the puck back to center ice. Touched up by Cozens. Though he didn't get it. Denisenko in for Havanov. Havanov winds in. Morozov had it poked away by Ball. And with 2:41 to go in the third period, Ball is called for hooking. And Russia will go to the power play.
Oh, man, this third period has been unbelievable. Here is the penalty on Kevin Ball as Podkolzin finds a little bit of room to go to the front of the net. The Akil Thomas goal. Dramatic goal as he beats Miftahov. The Canadian bench will explode as they've taken a 4-3 lead in the hallway below the rink. That's the legend Vladislav Tretiak watching a TV feed, shaking his head.
Timeout called. Igor Larionov on the Russian bench, along with Bragin, talking to the Russian team. Russia 1 for 5 on the power play with 10 shots.
Canada with 3 straight goals in the third period, trailing 3-1. Now that penalty-killing group that did such an amazing job in the first period when they took 4 penalties will have a beyond important kill. Now Russia has the goaltender out. It's a 6-on-4. I don't love this gourd off the face-off. I'd prefer to wait till I had possession to take the goaltender out of the net. You lose the draw, the defensive team shoots at 200 feet, it's over.
Valeno will face off against Voronkov. Draw one back to Denisenko to Romanov. Across to Zamula. Romanov fires, Hofer the save, and there's no rebound.
Oh, boy.
Mom and Dad.
I hope somehow they're enjoying this through their nerves. This is the Romanov point shot through a screen. A little bit of an exhale.
For Elaine and Steven.
Although 8 seconds just ran off the clock. A long way to go yet.
Now Galandria wins it back to Bernard Docker. Docker fires it down and misses. Back to pick it up is Zamula. In for Havanov. Being watched there by Foudy. Havanov gains center ice, winds it in, fires. Hofer knocks it down. He shoots at the empty net. It goes off a Russian player. And the face-off will be outside. Was he going for the empty net goal?
Well, he's trying, perhaps, but trying to clear it as well. But what a gutsy play by Joel Hofer to clear the puck from that position.
Now, Hoppy Boolin's asking Bragin, you want the goalie back in the net? The face-off's going to be outside the Canadian line. And And they're going to keep the 6 skaters on the ice here. Some confusion on the Russian bench there. 2:11 to go in the third period. Another face-off win for Canada. Dudas with it. Aiden Dudas backhands that towards the empty net. Zamula goes back for it. 2 minutes to go in the third period. In comes puck, pulls it across the line. Drops that back, it's wrapped around. Bowen Byram slaps it off the boards, but not out. Morozov knocks it down for Romanov. Now Dudas on it. Aiden Dudas shovels that off the camera. And that's going to be a penalty to Canada for delay of game. It hit the camera above the glass. Now that is... I'm going to check on this now.
There would be ground rules, if you will, discussed about this. Is the camera in play or is it out of play?
The camera is
out of play. I mean, looking at that angle, that puck is out of play now. The referees don't have that look.
Right.
They won't have a secondary look here. The linesman immediately called a 2-minute penalty.
Doesn't look like it's going to be a penalty against Canada.
The Russians are infuriated. This is not going to be a penalty. That camera is our TSN center ice camera. That is behind the glass. It's placed behind the glass for that purpose. Oh boy.
Voronkov for the face-off. Scramble draw. Bernard Docker gets to it. Now Denisenko. Inside a minute to go in the Russian power play. Havanov feeds that back for Romanov. Across to Zamula. Feeds it back across. Havanov a shot. He cued that wide. Denisenko on it. Grigori, Denisenko.
That's going to be a penalty here.
Penalty to Russia. We saw the same call on Valeno earlier for knocking the defender's stick out of his hands. That's going to do it for the Russian power play, which had 44 seconds remaining.
Dorofeyev is going to go to the penalty box.
It's interference is the call under IHF rules.
Same penalty that was called on Valeno. It's the same thing. It's interference. They called it in the first period. They'll call it here in the third period. Dorofeyev lifts the stick out of Foodie's hands. And so we've got 4-on-4 to close the game, well, to close most of the game out. If Canada can get control of the puck, Russia can't pull the goaltender. If you can keep the puck rolling around down in this end of the ice, you'll keep the goalie in the net.
Always think though that 4-on-4 is a disadvantage for the defending team. A little more room for the attackers.
You win the draw, you've got the puck, however.
Valeno lost the draw to Havanov, but now gets it back. And Valeno scrums it back in the corner. Stepping up is Foodie, and Valeno feeds that back to Byram.
That's a good 20 seconds for Joe Valeno right there. Outstanding work.
Bernard Docker knocked that down to the Russian zone. Now on the 4-on-4, Denisenko. In across the Canadian line, Denisenko deals back. Inside a minute to go, Miftahov to the bench. Russia with the extra skater on the ice. In comes Romanov. Head back in the corner, Havanov. Denisenko. Morozov. Denisenko winds and shoots. His stick broke. Picked up by Foodie. Plays it back to center ice. And now Canada on the power play. Denisenko slams his stick to the ice in frustration. And he's going to get a penalty here, I believe. Denisenko's going off with 37 seconds left in the third period. 5-on-3 Canada for the rest of the third period. And the captain is unglued in the penalty box.
The penalty is that Denisenko carried the broken stick all the way to the penalty box. He's trying to clearly shoot the puck from the top here. His stick craters on him. Oh, and so he played the puck there. That's the penalty on Denisenko. As Foudy was breaking out, he tried to poke the puck away. Canada, with a 3-goal third period, should be able to milk this away. Win the puck. You don't have to shoot it. Don't shoot it. Hold on to it.
Bernard Docker down to Hayton. Back out there for Canada. Cozens with it now. Back for Lafreniere. Canada playing keep away now. Lafreniere in the corner for Cozens. Cozens. 20 seconds to go in the third period. Lafreniere back to Byram. Byram shovels it down to Lafreniere. Looks down to Cozens. 10 seconds to go in the third period. Hayton feeds it down to Cozens. Dylan Cozens in, shoots, without the save. And Canada's going to win it. It's a gold medal in Ostrava as Canada comes back and beats Russia 4-3.
With an inspirational goal on the power play to tie. And Akil Thomas, much like Tyler Steenbergen a couple of years ago, rarely used, comes up enormous with the gold medal winning goal. And Canada wins gold.
And on the list of Canadian junior legends, add the name of the captain, Barrett Hayton, who tied the game in the third. He's with Tessa Bonhomme.
Barrett, be honest, were you at 100% ahead of this one or what?
Not quite, but I wouldn't miss this for the world. I wouldn't miss this for the world.
All of Canada thanks you for that. Walk me what went through your mind the second you saw that puck go in the net that you shot.
Nothing, I was just taking it all in. The fans here have been unbelievable. It makes me proud to be Canadian, seeing all these guys over here.
What makes this team so special?
Never been with a group of guys come together this quick. We're from all over, but the chemistry in this group is unbelievable.
Look, Coach Dale Hunter has coached some amazing teams. He knows what it takes to win. What makes him such a special coach?
His details. He's dialed in with everything. Like you see, defense wins these tournaments. We need special teams. I think he dialed in all the details, and obviously it showed well.
How's the shoulder feeling?
Like $1 million.
Thank you so much. Go enjoy your teammate.
Yeah, thank you.
What a performance by the captain, Barrett Hayton. And as you mentioned, an unlikely hero in Akil Thomas. A 20-year-old, turned 20 earlier this week. He's with Tessa.
Akil, we're on to you, man. You waited for this last game to score your first goal of the tournament. Walk us through it all.
Yeah, you know, it was in the third period. I was, being patient, hoping my time would come.
Score, bro! Score, bro!
Our D made a nice pass, and I saw a loose puck, and I just kind of reacted, and I scored.
I talked to you earlier in the week about roles and how important they were with this team. You blocked a major shot in the first period on the penalty kill. How great does it feel to finally be able to celebrate all of this with this group of guys?
It doesn't feel real. Obviously, we've been together for a month now, and I look at these guys like I've been with them for years, and it's been such a fun month. And I just wanted to do as much as I could to help the boys. And as I said, I was just staying patient, and my time came.
How much does a goaltender like Hofer instill confidence in a team?
Oh, it's unreal. We trust in him, and he obviously did amazing, and obviously we wouldn't have won without him.
Well, congratulations.
Thank you.
Canada's first European gold medal since 2008, also here in the Czech Republic. Canada won in this building back in 1994. Also a dramatic gold medal win in the old round-robin format. There's the Hofer family. What a night in Ostrava. The 2020 IHF World Junior Hockey Championship is brought to you by the Chevrolet Good Deeds Cup. Stick tapping for the upcoming Players of the Game.
Russia, it's player number 24, Nikita Alexandrov.
Heartbreak for the Russians, who take silver here again. Their gold medal game record is now 4-9 since the playoff format was brought in 1996.
The best player of Team Canada is player number 27, Bridge.
So this morning, Ray, you said can't see him play.
I said I can't see it. He was downcast. It was pretty clear he was favoring his shoulder. I just didn't think there was any way he was going to be able to play.
Of the gold medal game will now
what I found impressive, Gord, was how he warmed to the game, how he started to trust that he was okay, and he became more and more involved in the game, and eventually it paid off with that third period power play goal.
And now Rene Fizel will present the medals to the officials for this game, who had their moments here tonight. Lassi Hakkinen, Christian Wickman from Finland referees, Simon Sinek from Slovakia, Ludwig Lundgren from Sweden, the linesman. Well, maybe Canada owed the Russians one after Buffalo in 2011. An unlikely comeback in the third period, spurred by a captain with a bum shoulder and a player who had barely played, who scored his first in the tournament to win it.
They always tell you, be patient, be ready for when your window opens, when your chance comes. And Keel Thomas barely played 4 minutes in the first two periods. All of a sudden the chance is there and he doesn't miss.
So now time for the presentation of the silver medals to Russia, and the great Vladislav Tretiak will join Rene Fizel to present the silver to the Russians.
This is just a heartbreaking loss for these guys. A 3-1 lead in the third period. You saw their emotion sitting on the bench. Just a fantastic game. I loved the game once the penalties worked their way through and it became more 5-on-5. So close, these two teams. So close.
Vasily Podkolzin, downcast, receives his silver medal. Won a bronze last year. Russia has 1 gold now in the last 17 World Juniors. And heartbreak for Valery Bragin again, the head coach of this Russian team. It's a one-game shot. It's not a best-of-7 series. And so many things can happen to decide it. Igor Larionov know, the bronze medal winning Swedes were happier a few hours ago. What a bitter pill for Russia to swallow.
Ladies and gentlemen, the gold medals will be presented by Frank Gonzalez. Will be joined by Michael Brind'Amour, chairman of the Board of Hockey Canada.
Michael Brind'Amour, the board chair for Hockey Canada. Frank Gonzalez will now present the gold medals to Team Canada.
World champion and winner of the gold medal of the 2020 IIHF World Junior Championship is
Here they come.
Team Canada!
Joel Hofer from Winnipeg, Manitoba. Nico Dawes from Burlington, Ontario. Olivier Rodrigue from Chicoutimi, Quebec. Dawson Mercer from B. Roberts, Newfoundland. Jamie Drysdale from Toronto, Ontario. Dylan Cozens from Whitehorse, Yukon. Raphael Lavoie from Chambly, Quebec. Kalen Addison from Brandon, Manitoba. Bowen Byram from Cranbrook, BC. Nolan Foote from Kelowna, British Columbia. Liam Foudy from Scarborough, Ontario. Quentin Byfield from Newmarket, Ontario. Jared McIsaac from Truro, Nova Scotia. Connor McMichael from Ajax, Ontario. Joe Valeno from Montreal, Quebec. Jacob Bernard Docker from Canmore, Alberta. Aidan Dudas from Parry Sound, Ontario. Akil Thomas from Toronto, Ontario. Kevin Ball, Mississauga, Ontario. Ty Delandria, Port Perry, Ontario. Ty Smith from Lloydminster, Alberta. Barrett Hayton from Peterborough, Ontario. General Manager Mark Hunter from Petrolia, Ontario. His brother Dale Hunter from Petrolia. And Dr. Ed Berdusco from Orillia, Ontario. The assistant coaches, Mitch Love from Quesnel, BC. Andre Tournay from Nicolet, Quebec. Alan Letang from Renfrew, Ontario. Jason LaBarbera, the goaltending coach from Burnaby, BC. Tyler Dietrich, the video coach from West Vancouver, BC. The equipment managers, Brian St. Louis from Hull, Quebec. Chris Matten from London, Ontario. Athletic therapist Mike Bernstein from Hamilton, Ontario. Kyle Sutton from New Glasgow, Nova Scotia. And the mental performance consultant, Ryan Hamilton from Plaster Rock, New Brunswick.
For the national anthem of the world champion, Team Canada.
More than 3,000 Canadian fans made this sound like home for Team Canada. Lafreniere wrapped in the flag. This will be quite a celebration tonight in Ostrava. And there's one more piece of business. The presentation of the World Junior Championship trophy for the 18th time to Team Canada.
Sure wasn't easy. Thumped 6-0 in the preliminary round. They won 5 straight games and a 3-goal comeback in the third period.
Presented by René Fazel. Please welcome as well the captain of Team Canada, Bert Hayden, to receive the IIHF World Junior Championship trophy.
As the defending World Junior Champions.
We ask for everybody's attention for the closing of the championship by IIHF chairman Dylan Cozens.
Ladies and gentlemen, first of all, I would like to thank the hosting nation, Czech Republic Ice Hockey Federation, and the organizing committee, especially the volunteers of this championship. Without them, this would not be possible. Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the International Ice Hockey Federation and its president, Mr. René Fazel, I hereby declare the 2020 World Junior Championship closed. See you in Edmonton and Red Deer, Alberta, Canada.
Duffy back with Bob McKenzie and Jeff O'Neill as Captain Barrett Hayton and Canada celebrate their 3rd gold medal at the World Juniors in 6 years. There is a reason Canada-Russia is hockey's most historic rivalry, because of what you just saw. Just another absolute classic hockey game with ridiculous twists and turns that lead to Team Canada's victory.
2011 in reverse, if you want to go that way.
That, of course, was
3-0 lead for Canada in Buffalo. They ended up losing 5-3. The Russians holding a 3-1 lead in the 3rd period of this game, and Canada coming back to win it 4-3. Not quite the same, but somewhat similar.
The storylines in this one are just remarkable. for Canada to lose the way they lost 6-0 and to come back and get Russia in the gold medal game and get another chance, which you often don't have in the World Juniors. And to win it this way, to come from 3-1 back.
I just think of character all around, James, for Canadian hockey players. You don't go to physicality or running people through the boards. You think of character, grit, and determination, and you saw that all through this tournament. Starting with Lafreniere, you can go to Hofer, the goaltender that came in and mop-up duty in that 6-0 drubbing. And then you go to Barrett Hayton, who came back a day after that shoulder injury, and to perform the way he performed, and it was a gradual build for him. He started off kind of gingerly in the first, scores an unbelievable goal for Canada. Just the character, the comebacks, the dedication to the country and winning this gold medal. What a performance.
And it's not just the injury. If you go back to that Russia game, and when Hayton didn't take off his helmet and said afterwards he forgot, he was caught up in the loss, and the Russians were upset about it. And the backlash in Canada was...
There was people that wanted him sent home on a plane. They wanted the C stripped off his jersey.
Which is an overreaction, and the question is leadership. Is there better leadership than playing with that injury, scoring a key goal, and lifting the trophy at the end?
Well, from the get-go, he was playing very well in the tournament. He made a mistake in the Russian game. He apologized for it. He did his talking on the ice after that in terms of a real positive impact, in terms of being a power play goal scorer, in terms of being, along with Alexei Lafreniere, the best all-around players on Team Canada. And then he suffers a grade 1 shoulder separation. Now, that is the mildest level of shoulder separation, but understand this, for him to be able to play in this game today, he played through an incredible amount of pain. And not only did he play through pain, but he was back on that power play. And when you start looking at the comeback that was initially keyed by Connor McMichael, who had goals in, 4 straight games for Team Canada, he was a catalyst to get the comeback going. And then for Hayton to get that power play goal with the shot, with the bad shoulder, and then for Canada to come back even further, and obviously the Akil Thomas heroics late, and then good fortune, good luck if you want to call it that, in terms of Aiden Dudas's shot over the glass that hit the clock. I don't know what the rules are as far as that goes, but whatever it was, it bounced Canada's way, because it just as easily could have been a delay of game penalty that would have put the Canadians down 2, and then the Russians melted down after that with their own set of bad penalties.
I want to tell you, we have a full post-game show. We're going to stay with you until 4:30 Eastern time. By the way, Canada, TSN placed that camera behind the glass on purpose, so it would not be involved in a puck over glass penalty. So we'll try to get the referee's interpretation. They obviously had a reason why it was not a penalty as you watch Canada celebrate. The 3 goalies there as well. Olivier Rodrigue comes over. You see all the smiles. Doesn't get to play a second in this tournament, but just happy to be a part of Team Canada. And Nico Dawes, it wasn't his fault. He had a bad game against Russia, but the entire team did. Hofer comes in and has one of the best goaltending performances in a long time. 9 times Canada has won gold in Europe. 9 times Canada's goalie has been named the best goaltender.
I said if they're going to have a chance today, he had to be the best player on the ice. If he wasn't the second best, maybe to this character here, Barrett Hayton, he was unbelievable just to come in and have that presence. Talking with Jamie McLennan, just the poise, the rebound control. He's quiet in the net. He doesn't chase pucks. Just an unbelievable performance. Some of the key saves he made in the game today. Rebound control on that 1 goal. It might have been on him, but after that he responded so well and performed extremely well to get the gold medal. Some of the legends of Canadian World Juniors, Eberle's talked about all the time. This Barrett Hayton story arc is going to be right up there.
Not much question about that. Barrett Hayton scores the tying goal on a separated shoulder that people weren't sure whether he was going to be able to play or not. He was able to do it, and then everything after that, it was chaos out there with Akil Thomas, 4th line center Akil Thomas, something of a limited role, but gets sprung loose and manages to corral that puck and somehow elevate it on a backhand behind Miftakov is for the game-winning goal. Barrett Hayton, James, it would have been so easy for his NHL team, the Arizona Coyotes, to get involved, his agent to get involved and just say, who knows what kind of damage, further damage you can do to your shoulder if you're going out there to play. He didn't. He went out there and he played extremely well and got a massive goal for Canada.
And just quickly, something about the Russians. I thought they were perhaps the most dangerous team in the tournament, most of the tournament, even though they lost a couple of games in group play. A terrific game from the Russians today. They had a little meltdown at the end after they didn't get that penalty call. And